things. Now, here's something else. Just dealing with the boss all day. Does he have a methodology, spirituality to deal with that? Is he a mama's boy? Was his father in his life? Does he know how to fix things? Because you might expect him to fix things, but he don't know how to fix things. And now you're running your mouth, and he's running back, and here we go. Right? Everything's gonna collapse. You got to know if he knows how to clean, if she knows how to clean, if she knows how to cook, if he knows how to cook. All these things will come into play after you jump the broom, after the ceremony, after the honey. Why am I happy with her? Now, this is a key. Your why. Just like they say in sales. What is your why? What is your reason that you're looking for someone? It's usually to fill a void in your life, and it's natural that you find someone to compliment you. Now, my why is that my mother have a father in my house. I said one day I want to grow up and be a father. Being that I made it without a father and it wasn't easy, I wanted to be a father and I wanted to be a husband to a beautiful woman. And that's what I believe God gave me. All right. What was in my mind, the desire of my heart. Going through trials and tribulations to meet her, the woman who knew exactly what she wanted. So when I met her, I had to realize, and I still always remind myself, that this is what I asked God for, and this is what He gave me. Now, if she's sick, right? It says in sickness or in health, richer or poorer, right? If she's sick, if she's broke, if she gain weight, if she lose weight, if she's not feeling good, if she's sad, if she's happy, I have to be there to try to comfort her, educate her, heal her, and she does the same with me, right? 50-50. This is not the 1950s or the 1960s, 70s, or 80s. You know that song, I'm a 90s girl? Or you don't know that one? Okay. You know Beyonce's. All my single ladies, I throw your hands up, right? Times done changed. A lot of men still think we're back in the day. That's over. Most women now, by design or whatever, are making more money. I will say more women are committed to getting a higher education than a lot of men. A lot of men want to turn to the crime life, the drugs, the sales, the that and the other. And at first, in their dream, we're going to talk about that dream later. All right. The dream is interesting, but that dream don't always bring money to you. So some people say, nah, burn the bridges. Don't have a plan B. You better have a plan B. You better have an A and a B at least. All right. We could go down the list for residual income and all of that. C, D, E, F, G. No. You better have a plan B and you better have an emergency fund. And I'm not saying that that's not going to get depleted because of emergencies. Right. And that's why the first thing I said was you got to have faith and you got to keep the faith. I'm keeping it a buck with you. I can't, sugarcoat it. Because some people don't believe in God, spirituality, religion, karma, etc. Nirvana, namaste. You don't believe in nothing. Ma'at. You don't believe in nothing. So, but that don't mean it don't exist, right? Some people don't believe in it's like gravity, right? You don't see it, but jump out the window and see if you feel it, right? So I'm just saying there's universal laws and there's things that are seen and things that are unseen. And faith is the evidence of things that are unseen. And you have to still climb towards the finish line. Okay, so what is your why? So that was my why. That was my reason. educated people and taught. And if somebody's flying off the handle, they might not be the one for you. Because me personally, I want peace. And that's another thing. When you come home from work, when you come home from school, you want peace. You want peace. That's the best place to escape the world. How are you going to be nice to your boss all day? Be nice to your clients all day. Be nice to your students all day. Be nice to your teachers all day. Be nice to the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, the crossing guard, the security guard, the police every day. But then you get in the house and got an attitude. Like one of my friends' brother, Pastor Vic, said about some church ladies. He said, "You a Christian and you mean it in a pit bull with hot sauce in their mouth. How you going to be mean to the one that you love, the one that you supposedly love? How you going to be mean to someone that gives their body to you? Don't you know that's sacred? Oh no, you forgot or you never knew. You know why? Because the older generation may have dropped the ball on you if you're in your 20s, in your teens, your 20s, maybe your 30s. Maybe you didn't know because once upon a time there was a thing called chivalry. There was a thing called open the door for a lady. There was a thing called sweet talk. There was a thing called pillow talk. There was a thing called as soon as I get home from work. And even back then when that song came out by Babyface, I was like, man, as soon as I get home from work, I'm going to do all this for her. Because I was into my alpha malehood thing. But I realize now, yeah, she tired. That's what I go. I come home and this is a unwritten rule that I wasn't even thinking about saying now. But I come home and I sniff out the environment. I look around and I say and feel. I say, she's tired today. I'll do the dishes, or have my son do the dishes, or I'll cook, or I'll just order out, or does she want to go out? You see what I'm saying? Because that's all we got. You and me one on one against the world, like Houdini would say. Peace to ecstasy, rest in peace. You and me one on one against the world. So why would I turn on you? You're my rock, you're my ride or die. Why would I turn on her? Brother, stop turning on your women and stop hitting your women. She's a gift from God. Would you hit your mother? Would you turn on your mother? Well, if so, you need to be locked up for real or taken out. And I don't know what happened to Ray Ray and them. Ray Ray and Oofman and Rockman. You know what I'm saying? What happened to all of them? You know? Where's the brothers at? I don't understand how any woman gets hit and the brothers don't come around and handle the business. I don't get it. What's going on? But that's besides the point. I digressed. The point is you should know each other very well before you get ready to get committed or further into the commitment, serious, or married. And so I realize, and you have to realize that some people ain't have that class. Look at that word class. Some people ain't had that class. That's two-sided, right? Or you can look at that two ways. They didn't have the class. They didn't learn manners, right? They didn't learn ethics. They didn't learn that a man didn't learn that a woman is to be protected, respected, and elevated. The woman didn't learn that this man ain't after you necessarily just for one thing, unless he is, but this man might want you for reasons of the heart and reasons of the mind. But the class is, do you both have class? Forget it. Okay? But you have to talk. Now, this is the technique that I learned from a good, close friend of my family, an elder who is a doctor, chiropractor. I'll say Dr. J for those who know her. Not going to give out her whole government. All right. But my wife and I were having some issues one time, and she thought it was me, and I thought it was her. She thought it was me, and I thought it was her. When we first got together, there was love, infatuation, happiness, relations, good things going on, partying, good time, meeting new friends and family, and all of that, right? But at some point, it seemed like things started going wrong. We started arguing and fighting. And my wife and I were introduced to a very great technique that clarifies things with the relationship and with each other and helps you to renew from time to time. So I wanted to share it with you. My name is Kamal Imani, author of the book, Let's Bring Back the Butterflies. Now, why it's not always your partner's fault. Why it's not always your partner's fault. Consider this. Watch this and see what happens. Jamal, what are some of your problems from your perspective? Nagging me about bills, my being overweight, sleeping too much social media, and she's spending too much money on shopping, not giving me personal space. She's more concerned about the children, etc., etc., etc. Pamela, what are some of your problems from your perspective? He's not spending time with me like he used to. He's not holding his weight financially. He criticizes my weight. He won't get off his phone. I want to go on a vacay. So, are the problems the both of you, or are the problems the issues below that were stated by Jamal and Pamela? Jamal's perceived problems really break down to money and health and attention. Pamela's perceived problems, money, health, and stress. Neither one of you are the problem. The problems are the issues above that can be solved with respectful communication and positive action. Stop confusing the problems which can be solved in time with your partner in whom you once had butterflies for. Do you remember the time when you fell in love? A couple that fails to plan plans to fail. Periodically, take time to talk things over. Give yourselves a relationship checkup. Start chipping away at newly set or reset goals. Be patient with each other. Renew those butterflies and keep the faith in yourselves. Renew your love. Be friends again. Say to yourself, say to each other, let's bring back the butterflies. Right? And so we sat down and she said, okay, she got a piece of paper, right? And y'all should do this. She drew a big circle and she said, so what's the issues? Sometimes you don't pay the electric bill on time. I said, okay, write that down. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's time for the oil change. And I'm just making this. I don't remember all the issues. You know, well, she used to cook before we got married. Now she don't cook, right? Or whatever, right? Well, he don't go shopping, right? But she's writing all this stuff down in a circle, right? You know, bills and stuff like that. You know, And then she said, now look in the circle. Do you see yourself in the circle? No. Do you see yourself in the circle? No. You're not the problem. Y'all don't have a problem with each other. These are the problems in the circle. These are the issues that you have to deal with. So divorce yourself or separate yourself from the issues. Y'all still love each other. But y'all now have some problems that you didn't have when y'all were just dating or courting, right? Now y'all got some stuff you didn't have a manual for. Who's going to do what? Who's going to handle the money? Who's going to do that? Who's going to take the kid to the doctor? Who's going to... Y'all, this is all new. So slow down, be humble, spiritual, patient, keep the faith, love each other, go out on that vacay, go out to dinner, go out dancing, remind each other that you love each other, still send some flowers and some candy, some jewelry if you have it, if you have the money for it, right? Cook for her or him. If you don't have the money to go out, cook, like some candles, some wine, whatever. All right, fellas, how to keep the home fires burning. 101. All right. You got to keep her on her toes. You got to surprise her. Not just a ring or a rose. You got to give her an appetizer. All right? Now, this is what I did today. I worked out, so I'm a little sweaty. This friend's doing the hip-hop ass and all that. All right. Look at this yummy, delicious cake. Now, you ain't going to get no 3-layer and all of that. I come from the hood. I was born in Harlem, here in the Bronx. That don't mean you can't make a nice cake, but... You know, I'm bougetto, half bougie and half ghetto. So she gonna get a bougetto cake. But my mama always said it's the thought that counts. Now, you gotta put a little bit more icing on it. Kamal's world famous, yummy, delicious vanilla cake. We just had a lot of chocolate, lady. I have a chocolate lady. We had a lot of chocolate lately. All right. And I get the chance to do this. This is how we do it. We was little kids. You had to have sprinkles. Sprinkles on ice cream. And don't forget, sprinkles on the cake. And she's going to be so happy with her hubby. Now, how could 25 years and 28 dating, if you include that, how could 25 years go by so quickly and somebody still be so happy? Because I'm full of surprises. So, let's bring back the butterflies. All right? All right. Keep the home fires burning. I might put a candle in it to start with. That's as pretty as it's going to get. See you later. Happy relationship.